So talk to me about how sometimes you were even the intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes. Like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Well, thank goodness.
You were teaching
Hollywood, where every scandal is a blockbuster waiting to happen, just got another hit on its long list of absurd dramas. Today's main act features none other than Blake Lively. Yes, the Gossip Girl alum who apparently believes that the best way to fight sexual harassment is by adding a side of legal PR warfare. Picture this: an actress, a multi-million-dollar complaint, and a PR firm that's now crying foul over reputational harm. Could it get any more deliciously overblown? Let's dive into the latest chapter of this legal melodrama. In a twist that could only be scripted in Tinseltown, Blake Lively is now being sued by crisis PR firm Street Relations Inc. The suit, filed by Jed Wallace, claims that by naming his company in her complaint against her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni, Lively has inflicted millions of dollars in reputational harm on his business. Yes, you heard that right. Millions, not mere thousands. Apparently, in Hollywood, even a minor misstep in a legal filing is worth a small fortune in damages. But wait, there's more. While Lively has been busy accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and alleging that he ran a social media smear campaign against her, she's also managed to entangle a PR firm in her crossfire. In her December 2024 complaint with the California Civil Rights Department, not only did she throw accusations at her co-star, but she also identified Wallace and his firm, even though they weren't named as formal defendants in her later federal suit. It's a bit like inviting your neighbor to a party, then blaming them for the noise, even though they never actually showed up.
So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which one? Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
As if this legal labyrinth wasn't enough to keep us entertained, enter the plot twist. Wallace claims that Lively asked a judge to authorize his deposition, mistakenly identifying him as a subcontractor for TAG, a company alleged to be behind an unlawful retaliatory social combat campaign. The PR firm now insists that this gaffe has not only marred its reputation, but has also resulted in a projected loss of over $1 million on top of the millions already mentioned. In Hollywood, where a 9-figure lawsuit is just another day at the office, this is truly the stuff of legend. But hey, if you thought this was all about legal technicalities and PR mishaps, think again. The drama is further spiced up by the ongoing feud between Lively and Baldoni, a saga that has already given us a barrage of lawsuits. Just when you thought the legal theatrics had peaked, Baldoni swoops in with his own $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times for their coverage of Lively's complaint. Yes, in a stunning display of irony, Baldoni, whose own lawsuit is 4 times Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds' net worth, is now embroiled in this circus of legal claims. And if that wasn't enough, Baldoni's legal team has claimed that he's been devastated financially and emotionally by all this mess. A claim that might be as exaggerated as the dollar figures thrown around. In a world where lawsuits are the new fashion accessory, Lively's legal team isn't taking this new lawsuit lightly. In a statement to Page 6, they dismissed Wallace's suit as another day, another state, another 9-figure lawsuit seeking to sue Ms. Lively into oblivion for speaking out against sexual harassment and retaliation. They went on to call it transparent retaliation against her bold move to file a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department. It's a classic case of Hollywood counterattacks, each side hurling legal jabs like they're auditioning for a role in a courtroom drama that nobody asked for.
It's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have 2 other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Yeah. Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
One can't help but marvel at the sheer audacity of it all. On one hand, we have Blake Lively, a celebrated actress who, despite the swirling storm of lawsuits and countersuits, remains surprisingly calm, focusing on her family life. A source told People that she sees this legal brouhaha as a necessary bump on her path, as if lawsuits are just minor inconveniences in the glamorous life of a Hollywood star. Meanwhile, Baldoni, the man at the center of this scandal, is depicted as the tragic hero of our modern-day melodrama, battling not only against his accuser, but also against a media machine that never misses a chance to blow things out of proportion. Let's pause and take a moment to appreciate the real absurdity here. In a city where every personal slight is turned into a headline and every dispute escalates to a multi-million-dollar spectacle, it seems that reputation is the ultimate currency. Wallace's claim that his company has suffered millions in reputational harm might sound like an exaggeration to the uninitiated. But in Hollywood, where every legal misstep is monetized, a PR firm's reputation is just as precious as a leading role in a blockbuster. It's almost as if they're saying, sure, you can sue for sexual harassment, but don't you dare mess with our image. Our brand is worth more than your entire career. As the drama unfolds on social media, the internet is abuzz with memes, hashtags, and running commentary. Twitter threads dissect every twist in the legal saga, and fans from both sides engage in a digital tug-of-war over who's really to blame. Hashtag Blake Sues again and the PR nightmare are trending, with armchair lawyers and pop culture pundits alike weighing in on what appears to be the latest installment in Hollywood's endless saga of lawsuits and counterclaims. It's a fascinating spectacle, one where legal briefs are as thrilling as the latest celebrity scandal.
What was the most challenging scene for you to get right?
Oh my God, all of them. This whole movie, honestly, the work that I did on screen was easier than the work that I did off screen.
In the midst of this maelstrom, one can't help but wonder, is this legal warfare a genuine quest for justice, or is it just another elaborate PR stunt designed to keep the spotlight shining on these larger-than-life figures? Lively's legal team insists that this is not a publicity stunt, but rather a necessary response to the unlawful retaliatory actions she alleges took place. Yet, the irony is palpable. While she speaks out against sexual harassment and retaliation, she now finds herself on the defensive against claims of defamation and reputational harm. It's the kind of contradiction that could only exist in Hollywood, a place where truth is as malleable as a script rewrite on a movie set. Let's break down the theatricality of it all. Imagine the scene, a bustling courtroom, not unlike a red carpet event where legal teams exchange barbs instead of pleasantries. Lively's team, with their cool confidence, dismiss Wallace's suit as nothing more than a desperate attempt to drag her into oblivion.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
Oh boy.
On the other side, Wallace and his PR firm are portrayed as the unsung victims of a reckless legal maneuver, their reputation allegedly battered by a mere mention in a complaint. It's a spectacle where every legal move is scrutinized, every dollar figure becomes a talking point, and every statement is laden with more drama than a primetime soap opera. And then there's the subplot involving Justin Baldoni. Once again, the actor finds himself caught in the crossfire of a scandal that seems to escalate with every passing day. After his own massive lawsuit against the New York Times for their coverage of Lively's complaint, he's now facing off against a narrative that pits him as the antagonist in a story filled with contradictions. His lawyer's claims of financial and emotional devastation add another layer to the drama, one that makes you wonder if Baldoni is starring in his own personal tragedy. Yet, despite the swirling lawsuits and the relentless media attention, he remains a figure of stoic resilience, even as his legal battles continue to dominate headlines.
But we'll see what the documents actually say, because that's what we have are documents. Documents actually don't lie. People do.
In the grand scheme of things, this entire saga is a masterclass in Hollywood's love affair with legal drama. It's a world where every complaint, every countersuit, and every PR crisis is meticulously orchestrated to capture the public's imagination. The larger-than-life figures involved in these disputes seem to thrive on the attention, turning personal grievances into epic narratives that rival the plots of the very films they star in. And as each new lawsuit is filed, it becomes painfully clear that in Hollywood, justice is not so much served as it is performed, like an elaborate dance of accusations and rebuttals on the grandest stage imaginable. So what's the takeaway from all of this legal hoopla? Perhaps it's a reminder that in a city built on spectacle, even the most serious of claims can become fodder for public amusement. Blake Lively's lawsuit against a PR firm for millions of dollars in reputational harm is just another episode in the endless series of legal misadventures that define modern Hollywood. And as long as there are stars willing to turn personal scandals into public theater, the legal circus will keep rolling, each act more outrageous than the last. In the end, we're left with a scenario that is as entertaining as it is absurd. A celebrated actress, a notorious co-star, a PR firm crying foul, and a media landscape hungry for drama, all converging in a legal battle that defies logic yet captivates our collective imagination. Hollywood, with its penchant for turning every whisper into a headline and every slight into a lawsuit, reminds us that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And if you ask anyone in Tinseltown, they'll tell you, this is just another day in paradise.
It was... I saw the red flags, but they didn't look red. They looked kind of fuchsia and cute. But I ignored.
Because really, what else could you expect when your idea of justice involves multi-million-dollar lawsuits, overblown legal statements, and a cast of characters who treat the courtroom like a stage? So buckle up, folks. This legal ride isn't ending anytime soon. After all, in Hollywood, the bigger the lawsuit, the bigger the ratings. And as the cameras keep rolling on yet another scandal, one thing is abundantly clear. In the world of celebrity drama, even reputations come with a price tag. And that, dear viewers, is the latest twist in Hollywood's never-ending legal saga. Who needs a predictable storyline when you've got lawsuits that keep everyone guessing? Stay tuned, because if there's one thing we know about Hollywood, it's that the show must go on, no matter how many legal battles it takes to keep the spotlight shining bright. All right, show's over. Hungry for more twists? You know where to find us. Keep that popcorn hot. We'll handle the drama. Want to catch the next showdown in real time? Hit subscribe and buckle up.